Hello, welcome back here into Caden's Weather Center. Today is September 7th, 2025. Continuing to pay attention to right now the tropics here on the eastern Pacific side. Actually, now the central Pacific side here, as we have Hurricane Kiko right now posing a possible threat here to the Hawaiian Islands. Not as much of a threat than we expected, but definitely still expected to possibly bring some pretty big beach conditions to the Hawaiian Islands. So we'll be talking about that later on in this video as well. We're also going to be continuing to pay attention to a severe weather threat that is continuing on over here in the western part of the United States, and as well as some cooler and maybe even some hotter temperatures here for parts of the United States as well. So let's jump right into the video. So right now, what are we currently looking at around the United States here? Well, we can clearly see around the United States, we're seeing some, scattered showers, thunderstorms still continuing on over here in the western part of the United States. We're definitely seeing that. We could see some severe thunderstorm warnings continuing on over here in parts of northern New Mexico. Some rain showers continuing on in the Idaho region, but definitely I want to really pay attention here. We do have some pretty big storms kind of continuing down here in the southeast and in the Texas region here. Not a lot of thunderstorms going on in the Texas area, but definitely a lot of rainfall. But we've been seeing some pretty scattered showers, thunderstorms continuing on over here in Florida, and we're expecting that to kind of ramp up as we head into this evening here, as we're going to be seeing some of those sea breeze thunderstorms really starting to ramp up over here. Taking a look over here, when we go from the North Carolina all the way down here over here into Georgia's coast, we're seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms. And as of the recording of this video, we are having a flash flood warning here for Charleston. As you know, we can see 1 to 2 inches of rain here just in the last hour has been reported right there from the radar. So that's something to pay attention to right there very closely. But other than that, we're starting to see some cooler temperatures starting to kind of move in over here to parts of the northeastern United States, but that is definitely expected to change, and we'll dig deeper into that later on in this video. But taking a look here at the satellite picture of the United States, what are we currently looking at? Well, we can obviously see some convection kind of blowing up over here, parts of in the northwestern part of the United States, but really our biggest convection we definitely could see is more over here on the east coast of Florida, and that is due to those severe thunderstorms, or not severe thunderstorms, but definitely some, at times could possibly bring some gusty winds and all of that. But some thunderstorms continuing on right there in parts of the eastern part of Florida. And then you can obviously see up the I-95 corridor, we're seeing a lot of that cloud cover and convection, also with some of that rainfall that is continuing to bring that flash flooding threat here to parts of South Carolina. Taking a look right now here at the marginal risk for severe weather as we head into the overnight hours, we're expecting that to continue. We see it over here in parts of northwestern Texas, going into parts of eastern New Mexico, going into Colorado, and even into Kansas, and parts of maybe even some Nebraska region right there for the marginal risk. No tornado threat is expected. Wind threat and the hail threat definitely will be our biggest potentials there. 5% chance here for parts of maybe the wind and hail threat. So gusty winds and some hail, small hail could be possible in that 5% zone right there. Heading into tomorrow, we could see for Monday morning, we're going to be seeing some possibility for some marginal severe thunderstorms kind of moving its way off to the east here, kind of with the little system. That's going to continue on in parts of Kansas, the Oklahoma Panhandle, as well as the Texas Panhandle, as we're going to start to see some of those storms move off to the east here. So we're going to continue to pay attention to that. No tornado chances really for that, but the wind and hail chances will be 5% for that area as that's moved off to the east there, as we're going to be seeing that rainfall kind of continue to push off to the east. Now let's take a look at the HRRR model here for the next couple of hours. What are we looking at? So as we can see over here, 7 p.m. here, we can see, some scattered showers, thunderstorms really starting to kind of pick up over here down in the southeast. Majority of that rainfall that is kind of hanging out over here on the coast of the Carolinas will eventually make its way off into the Atlantic there, and that's something we're going to continue to see, and that will be bring a little bit more drier conditions here for the East Coast, and that's definitely what we're going to be seeing here as we see a high pressure has built in over here over kind of the northeastern part of the United States. So that's going to bring a little bit of hotter temperatures, as you guys just had a cool down, as we're going to be expecting some maybe cool down temperatures now on the western part here of the United States. So we'll talk about that obviously in a little later, but you can definitely see some rain showers going to be continuing on as we head into tomorrow afternoon. We're going to be seeing that here. And then we also are going to be seeing some sea breeze thunderstorms as we head into tomorrow, as well as tonight here for the Florida Peninsula. We're going to just constantly see that. And we kind of can see here as we head into September 9th. So this is going to be on Tuesday, 6 a.m. We're seeing a little bit of that moisture kind of pushing up here into the west coast of Florida, but really relatively quiet in some areas. Maybe as we head into Tuesday, we're going to be seeing some of that rain shower and those rain chances to kind of go up here in the northern United States. It does include the Wisconsin and Minnesota region, but relatively for the central part of the United States, we're going to be seeing a little bit more of quieter conditions kind of going on. Obviously, we have that possibility for some severe weather as we head into tonight, but not anything too major. but something to continue to pay attention to, obviously. Taking a look right now at Hurricane Kiko, we can obviously see Hurricane Kiko now a Category 2 hurricane. Yesterday was at major hurricane status, did strengthen slightly, continuing to move off to the northwest, maybe the west-northwest here, kind of with a little bit of a wobble. A lot of convection continuing to blow up here. We kind of can see it has weakened itself a little bit, but a lot of that convection still on the eastern side here of the eye, so that's definitely where the strongest of the winds are. So the good news is we're not going to be seeing major impacts to the Hawaiian Islands. Obviously, the beach conditions will be pretty concerning for the Hawaiian Islands here, especially, you know, we still have the possibility here where we could be seeing the storm going more off to the southern part of the cone, but as well as the northern part of the cone. So obviously, once again, that we've been saying in the last couple of videos, the more north that the storm goes, the less impacts that we'll be seeing here with the Hawaiian Islands. But the more south that the storm goes, the more impacts that we could be seeing with the Hawaiian Islands. Now, I will say, moving off to the west-northwest, if we see a little bit more of a westward jog, we possibly could be seeing some possible impacts here to the Hawaiian Islands a little bit more. Do we expect some tropical storm watches and warnings to be posted tonight as we head into Tuesday? Not really. We're not expecting that right now, especially definitely with the small wind field of the storm here. And we obviously know that the storm is going to weaken as it makes its way. And we're expecting it to go from a Category 2 here of 110 miles an hour, so just short of a Category 3 still. Expected to change here. Once it gets to Monday, we're going to have a high-end tropical storm, and that will eventually continue to make its way off over here north of the Hawaiian Islands as a tropical storm, kind of mid-tropical storm there. Tropical storm conditions expected obviously to stay out to sea right now at this time, but you can see the Hawaiian Islands do have that possibility of chances pretty relatively low, 5 to 10% chance here for possible tropical storm conditions, but right now definitely not going to be expecting any tropical storm force winds at this time, and that probably most likely will, be the likely answer. GFS model, here we go. We're seeing it continue to move off well north of the Hawaiian Islands. Once again, no matter what, even though the storm is moving to the northern part of the Hawaiian Islands, we're going to be seeing a lot of that surf and the beach conditions really start to kind of pick up here for the coast here of Hawaii, the northern coast. And then the GFS does bring it in kind of relatively just, it starts to die down as it's heading into unfavorable environment. The European model does bring it kind of maybe slightly more off to the south than the GFS and hasn't been doing so well in the intensity with this storm, but definitely doesn't bring as many impacts here, kind of saying more of a relatively small storm as it is over the Hawaiian Islands, but still, once again, we could still be seeing some possibility here for that coast of Hawaii to be impacted by obviously some rip currents and all of that. So make sure, probably as we head into early this week, we're not going to be seeing very good conditions to be out there swimming. Taking a look here at the Atlantic side, we can clearly see nothing has been marked here by the National Hurricane Center. We're seeing it very quiet still. Next 7 days, not expecting any tropical development there. So, and we're 3 days away from the peak of the hurricane season for the Atlantic. So relatively quiet continuing on. Let's take a look right now at the GFS model. What are we looking at currently here? Kind of give us a little bit of a, kind of an idea on what we could be expecting here in the future. We can definitely see a low pressure kind of off the east coast here of the United States. That's off the coast of North Carolina. That's going to just kind of make its way off. That's due to a front there. We kind of can see. Now, I will say the GFS has been picking up on something possibly spinning up over here in parts of the Western Caribbean, and then does eventually get kind of pulled off to the north here. So pretty big questions are on that GFS model run. With the last couple model runs here from the GFS, we've seen something spin up over here over Central America, make its way over here into the Gulf, and then yesterday in the yesterday's video, we did see a lot more kind of heading into the Florida Peninsula here with all that tropical moisture. But now, just as a tropical depression, but now we're kind of seeing the GFS really bringing a possible Category 1 hurricane, bringing it into the Louisiana-Texas border as a pretty strong maybe Category 2. Now, the biggest thing is it has had a couple model runs being like this, but obviously right now, look at the hours out, 270 hours out. We are still too far out to be sure, and there's nothing marked by the National Hurricane Center, but definitely something to pay attention to. The European model, we can see over here in the next 45 hours, we could be seeing possibly a low pressure system kind of sitting off the coast of Florida. That's going to bring some heavy rainfall and some moisture into the Florida coast there. We can see maybe a little bit of a tropical wave kind of spinning out here in the Atlantic. That will eventually kind of make its way out to sea. Won't be too big of a concern for us there. But then you kind of can just see that there's no tropical waves that really kind of hang out and just really form or anything like that. But doesn't really pick up on what the GFS was saying with that Central America there. Something forming. Now, taking a look at the European probabilities. What are we currently looking at? Well, we can see over here over the next 24 to 72 hours, there is a possibility here for a tropical depression to form here. Very low chances, maybe even up to just 30% chance here right off the west coast there of Florida. But storms, it does have the possibility of a low pressure does form, continue to move eastward into the state, and you kind of can see those chances go up here with the 48 to 96 hours out. But once again, we don't have anything marked by the National Hurricane Center, so something to continue to just keep an eye on just in case. The European model hasn't been doing so well on picking up storms early, so that's something that we'll be continuing to pay attention to, because obviously that's a little bit harder for us to believe if it hasn't been the most accurate. But we're not expecting anything right now, as the National Hurricane Center doesn't have anything marked in the Caribbean or even in the Gulf. So taking a look at your temperatures here, we can clearly see for tomorrow, for Monday, we could clearly see a little bit of that cool down still continuing on over here, parts of the northern part of the United States here, central part of the United States. That is expected to really start to heat up here, especially as we head into the midweek. Wednesday, we're going to be seeing those temperatures really starting to ramp up here. Parts of, you can see even in parts of Ohio, 86 degrees there, as well as even Missouri, parts of Missouri reaching up into maybe even the lower 90s. And obviously the South, we obviously see are very, very hot there for you guys continuing on. But a little bit of those cooler temperatures will kind of head over here into the mountain region, kind of just sitting there. And that will bring some cooler temperatures. Now, taking a look at the low temperatures, as we head into Monday's low temperatures, we could see obviously still a very big cold blast kind of still continuing on over here in parts of the northern part of the United States. That is expected to change as we head into obviously the next couple of days. We're expecting that heat up to kind of staying relatively kind of in the central and southern part here of the United States. So even though we're expecting maybe some warmer temperatures over here for the Northeast, stretching all the way from western North Carolina all the way to Maine, we definitely could be seeing some of those lower temperatures really starting to get into the upper 40s, maybe even into the lower 50s as well as we go on throughout the next couple of days here. We're going to be seeing that, and then maybe the possibility of some more warming up temperatures. But I would say taking a look here at the European or the National Weather Service prediction here for the temperatures, we could see Friday, eventually when we go later on to next week, and this will eventually make its way over here to the east and bring some more warmer temperatures over here to the East Coast and the northeastern part of the United States. The cold front isn't digging any more deeper down here into the southeast, so if you do live in Florida and even into parts of southern Texas, you guys are not going to be having or participating with this storm there. But if you do, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you do have any questions about any weather that is continuing on right now or even in the future here and what we could cover later on in another video, make sure to leave it down in the comments and I'll do my best to possibly answer to you guys. But I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure that you follow my X page down in the description for more frequent updates here on the tropics as well as the severe weather threat, especially as we head into the winter season. In the next couple days, I will be having a winter video coming out talking about what we could be expecting here for the winter time. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there, and bye-bye.